Welcome back, Excel chicks. In our last video, we talked about how to return distinct values using the unique function. In this video, we're going to talk about another fairly quick way to return distinct values, and that is creating a pivot table. So I'm going to go over how I would use the pivot table to return distinct values, and how you can also use a pivot table to return distinct values. Okay, so we have our sheet that we're going to use. So I'm going to select my columns A through H and click on Insert here on the Excel ribbon and click on Insert Pivot Table. And it's going to bring up our Create Pivot Table dialog box. And you can see that our ranges are already pre-selected. And we can choose if we want to put our pivot table in the existing sheet, and that's here in this section. So if we wanted to include it in an existing worksheet, we could specify where we want that pivot table to start. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for this example. And we're going to have our pivot table start in the same sheet that we're using, and I've just selected cell J1, and it gives it, you can see that Excel gives us an absolute reference, which is fine. I'm going to click OK. So once we've selected that, you'll see that now we have our pivot table pop up here. Okay, so remember in our last tutorial, we are looking at color. We want to return distinct values for color. So I'm going to quickly show how we can do that. So this is our pivot table fields window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on color, and you can see, voila, automatically it returns our list of distinct values for color. So if I wanted to use this data and I wanted to do maybe some additional summarizations or use it for charts, we could do that using pivot tables. And how I do that is I would drag down perhaps my quantity sold and my revenue. And what that does is that brings and gives us, the statistics about these distinct colors. We can't really use this data for much except for this pivot table. So a lot of times if I want to work further in this, I would probably copy, and then I'm going to paste my values using paste special. And now I can use this outside of a pivot table. But that's just a basic pivot table to get distinct values. There are way more things you can do with a pivot table, and we'll go over that in a later tutorial. But just for this quick tutorial, which how to use a pivot table to return distinct values. Let me know what you think of this method down in the comments. And of course, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And thank you, everyone. And until next time.